What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics, guys? Thanks for stopping back in for another daily pod with your daily 76ers discourse discussion. And we have to talk about what's been happening recently in Philadelphia. But first off, I got to thank all of you, the likers, the watchers, the commenters, especially the subscribers. All of you guys helping us climb the subscription ladder, each view, each watch, especially each comment. All of you guys matter. But what matters the most is that Joel Embiid is back, baby. Joel Embiid not only played a lot of the blue and white scrimmage, he's a good portion of the highlights you'll see online, guys. Joel Embiid looks good. Not great, because you know how great Joel Embiid can be on the offensive and the defensive end. A few parts of his game that definitely did change, we're going to highlight a little bit, but we have to talk about how good Joel Embiid looked, because great for Joel is unstoppable, is uncomparable, and some may argue is the greatest center of all time. But a good Joel Embiid, I think that's what we need all season long. That means he's healthy. That means he's going to be on the court, giving all his energy and effort on both ends of the court, offense and defensively. But more importantly, guys, the efficiency for a Joel Embiid good season is what you need. You need efficiency from Joel. You need consistency from Joel. And most importantly, if he shows up, that guy knows how to show out every game he steps on the court. Joel Embiid will go down as one of the greatest Philadelphia players of all time, and this is the year they'll put the battery in the back of that conversation, because not only is this team one of the best athletic teams he's ever had, I think on the defensive end, he's getting more help than he's ever had in his entire career. One thing we learned from that blue and white scrimmage, the lineups that Nick Nurse already has in place. You see a lot of Joel and Dominic Barlow, Kelly Oubre, VJ Edgecombe. You're going to see a lot of Joel and VJ Edgecombe throughout BJ Edgecombe's rookie season and rookie tenure, because that makes the most sense. If you're Nick Nurse, you want to give a rookie the opportunity to play with better players. Joel Embiid is the best. Joel Embiid is the best player this team has, not only on the roster, but arguably, again, in the NBA, Joel Embiid could be that guy. So to give VJ Edgecombe the maximum opportunity to be his best and to excel, it would be with Joel. Few aspects of Joel's game that haven't changed. He's still getting double. Joel Embiid is still commanding double teams. And with the team that is currently constructed, a double team allows VJ Edgecombe to play his best brand of basketball, which is slashing, cutting to the basket, and potentially moving off of that three-point line and into the paint for some alley-oop and tough flushes and finishes. What we learned from this blue and white scrimmage is that a few things did change. The Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid two-man game, which was one of the best two-man games in the NBA, that's definitely changed, guys. It's a brand new system in place. Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, they'll have their dribble handoffs, they'll have their pick and rolls, and they'll have their two-man game moments. But more importantly, guys, we're going to need all five guys on this court to be important on the offensive end, so they have their energy, so they have their effort, and so most importantly, they have their attention on the defensive end as well. Because before and prior iterations of this team would be a Joel Embiid initiated, created offense where guys were standing in the corner, guys were stagnant. Joel would catch it at the top of the key or high mid-range, and from there, that's when the offense would start. That is a problem not only for this team, because they were starting their offensive sets and their play calls late into the shot clock with like 15, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, which doesn't give you a lot of time and a lot of room to work, especially if plays are eventually blown up. You need more time on the shot clock to get a better shot off. So with Nick Nurse basically saying we're not going to create our offense through Joel, Joel's going to be a part of our offense in a free-flowing scheme where potentially on multiple trips down the court, all five guys not only will, but should touch the ball, get on it, and get off of it. We learned not only the new offensive scheme that Nick Nurse is trying to employ, the lineups that Nick Nurse has in store for this Philadelphia team. I think these are some of the best defensive lineups you are going to find in Philadelphia history. One part of these lineups that I think amplifies the defensive ability, when Paul George is out, that starting power forward position is open. When Paul George is out, that starting power forward position is wide open. And head coach Nick Nurse went on to say, when speaking on the starting power forward position, I think there's kind of an open position at the 4, especially right now with Paul George not being quite ready yet. There's a number of guys that we are trying to work into that spot. Bona is just another one. He's probably going to be more of the 5. He's going to play down towards the basket and rim protect. Guys, who will be that starting power forward from the blue and white scrimmage? You saw a lot of dual big lineups, a lot of twin tower lineups. That is with Joel Embiid at the 4, Adem Bona at the 5, and a plethora of scoring ability 1 through 3. That may be not only the starting lineup when Joel Embiid is healthy and when Paul George is out, but that may be the closing lineup, the defensive lineup, and the best lineup this team may have. Because rim protection, as Joel Embiid does seem to try to amp himself and get ready for regular season play and for high impact playoff play, you really don't want him gambling, risking it, and being as physical during the regular season, especially on the defensive end. A lot of instances in Joel's career, accidents are incidental, or injuries, are accidental and incidental. But Joel Embiid's effort, we all have to admit, does contribute to how those injuries do occur. Joel Embiid is foul baiting. The more you're getting fouled, the more you get hit. The more you get hit, the more you hurt. That is just simple logic there, guys. So allowing Joel Embiid to potentially be this team's starting power forward, closing power forward, for Joel Embiid to play those 4 minutes, that is huge for this squad. Because not only does that take some wear and tear off of Joel Embiid's body from going up and down the court, rim running, basically getting to the rim to rim to rim. That is more miles on his legs, more miles on his body, and it definitely doesn't help a guy who you want to make it to the playoffs. You want to lessen his load. That could mean during the regular season lessening his travel distance on court, guys. If Joel Embiid is running from baseline to three-point line, from baseline to free throw line, that's a lot better than baseline to baseline all game long, especially if those games are going to require Joel Embiid to play 40-minute instances. And in these instances where Joel Embiid is playing the 4, potentially the starting power forward, Nick Nurse loves the Joel Embiid, Adem Bona dual lineups. We're trying a little bit versatility and interchangeable with who's down and who's up. But the reality is that Joel likes to be up. He's going to be up a lot, guys. Not only is this team trying to be versatile, not only is this team trying to find interchangeable lineups, if Joel Embiid is playing, again, at the three-point line, at the free throw line, and Adem Bona is the lob threat, if Adem Bona is the low block and the dunker spot position player, gives this team a better recipe to success and to pass almost every test. Because Joel Embiid, as Nick Nurse would say, is this team's best shooter. Rumors are Joel Embiid is the best shooter on this team. Now, obviously, Tyrese Maxey may have better shooting chops than Joel Embiid, but Joel Embiid's mid-range. Joel Embiid is the most efficient mid-range shooter in the NBA today and of all time. Three-point shooting. Joel Embiid is one of the best and highest percentage shooting bigs, three-point shooting bigs in the NBA, especially when contested. If Joel Embiid is getting more comfortable playing at the top of the key, shifting into that Brook Lopez role, this may be the exact style of play and the kind of play that's going to elongate Joel Embiid's career and allow him to play more years. That's exactly what you want to see from Joel. What you want to see from this team, though, is a clear backup point guard. Because from that blue and white scrimmage, you didn't see any Kyle Lowry. You didn't see any Eric Gordon. Of course, you didn't see any McCain. But the backup point guards you did see for this squad that potentially could find themselves thrown into some lineups, thrown into some coverages. Kennedy Chandler, Hunter Salas. There's a lot of two-way guys here, not only playing throughout the preseason, but that just played throughout the blue and white scrimmage that could be playing throughout the regular season, which I hate, guys. I hate to see it. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Who's the backup point guard for this squad? The backup point guard is also the starting shooting guard. The backup point guard is potentially also the starting small forward for this team. The backup point guard is going to be a plethora and a combination of the 4 guards this team has of Maxey, McCain, Grimes, and VJ Edgecombe. The problem with these 4 is that not many of them are getting real substantial point guard minutes, point guard repetition. VJ Edgecombe just missed the last preseason game. Jared McCain's missing all of them. Quentin Grimes hasn't stepped court on the preseason court yet. So with that being said, guys, in terms of the backup point guard minutes, when all 4 of these guys have been said by head coach Nick Nurse and have been shown to be the reliable secondary ball handlers outside of Tyrese Maxey, these backup point guard minutes could be shaky and could be questionable. And they are a huge question not only going into the season, but as we wrap up and finish the preseason. Who's really going to be not only the 6th man for this team, but the Tyrese Maxey reliever? If Tyrese goes down, does this team's hopes, future, and potential success go down as well? I would hate to see it. I would hate to hear it. And hopefully, again, that does not happen. Because there's a plethora of backup point guards out there. We talked about Markelle Fultz. We've highlighted Russell Westbrook. You know Ben Simmons is out there. But probably the best potential for this team at the backup point guard position would be Quentin Grimes. And I expect Quentin Grimes to be a starting shooting guard as well. Doesn't mean he can't potentially shift his minutes and fill out those bench roles, play with the bench units, and potentially be the highest scorer and the leader of those units. That would probably suit Quentin Grimes' skill set well and definitely help him into contract negotiation next summer. The more you can do, the more you get paid for. We'll love to see Quentin Grimes get paid more, especially here in Philadelphia. Long term, long term, long term. And guys, don't forget to like, to comment, and subscribe, guys. I want to see what these comments are about. I want to see what you guys are thinking. I want to see if you guys agree with me or completely disagree with me, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. If you leave a comment or two, we read more than a few, guys. We read all of your comments. And how do you feel about the double big lineups? The Adembona, the Joel Embiid lineups. Ime Udoka has started something that a lot of teams are hoping they can finish in the finals. The double big lineups are not only dangerous, potentially deadly, but they are securing a lot of double chances, second chances in the offensive glass. If Adembona and Joel Embiid can make these double big lineups successful, I think it's only a matter of time for this team goes bigger, gets taller, gets stronger, gets more size, and really cuts down on the point guard position completely. Too many positions have been given to Eric Gordon, to Kyle Lowry. And then you mentioned the 4 guards who potentially could all 4 be stars in their roles and here in Philadelphia. I think if the double big lineups are working, if Joel Embiid is able to stretch the floor at the stretch 4 and a big size 4, guys, it's only a matter of time before you see more forwards, more power forwards, and more centers on this team who could potentially be interchangeable and add more versatility to these lineups. Guys, like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be addressing all your comments all week long, guys. So like, comment, and subscribe.